to be Overwatch 2. Is it just a copy of part one with a few tweaks? And this is the really big one, because we and Mag both got a chance to get our hands on this game and play it. And I was really excited about it. If you guys got a chance to hear me talk about it, uh, I was like, really excited because I felt like this game does have a lot of promise, right? And when I got a chance to play it on Wednesday night, we played it. We downloaded it, kind of got our hands on it, and it wasn't what I expected, right? And not to say that it wasn't what I expected, because the gameplay is really, I think, it's very diverse, right? It's very different. The game is not, you can't really compare it to something else other than like maybe Valorant, and kind of that, and maybe Apex, but Apex not even, because Apex movement, it's on a whole other scale, right? So it has its own gameplay type of style, and that's the reason why it's built its own unique community. But to see outright Overwatch 2 come out and not much different, right? So that they didn't do much different than part one. There wasn't like something that I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. They introduced so many new things. It felt very similar to part one. And I've gotten a chance to play part one some on Xbox at one time. I played a good amount of it. And to get my hands on this, I didn't see much different. Besides, one of the biggest changes that they did was that they removed a player. So they removed the player, making it 5v5 and not 6v6. And I think that was like one of the biggest things that they ended up making as far as changes and adjusting some of maybe the characters or cast that were in the game. Other than that, there wasn't nothing like much revealing of what they were able to, that they allowed us to play. So I still have high hopes that they would, that maybe they're just holding some things back. Let's hope, because if this game is free to play, I hope they're not just repackaging what they had 6 years ago, that they launched 6 years ago, repackaging everything that they've done and then saying, here guys, it's free to play now, and we're going to call it Overwatch 2, because that's not fair to the consumer, and that's not fair to the people of the community. And they need to be transparent, especially now that people gotten a chance to play this before the release of the free to play, right? Because it's going to put a lot of like thoughts in people's heads as to whether or not, Overwatch is actually doing a money grab, doing a grab and run, a hit and run. And that's not, and for people of the community to feel that way because of what was presented in Overwatch 2 is not okay. And as a developer, they need to step up to the plate and give us a breakdown. Give us your breakdown of what you guys are having the back burner as far as plans for this game. Because because right now it just feels like literally like all they did was take the Overwatch name and put a 2 at the end of it and say, here we go, guys, it's free to play now. And we're going to remove Overwatch 1 and we're going to give you Overwatch 2. Not doing any favors with that. So like, let us, you got to be transparent here. You got to let us know. And this is not me feeling like I'm entitled, but with a game that was released as a beta to feel this way, there has to, for them to kind of save their butts, I think they need to kind of give a rollout as to what their plans are for this game. So they definitely need to do a better job and be more transparent when it comes to that. Because as of now, you're kind of pretty much getting the same thing. The good thing about it is that it's free. But if you already owned it, if you're a person that's already played this game in the past and already owned it, and it's like it's not really doing much for you at this point. So that's my whole take on it.
Yeah. So for me, the question at hand is Overwatch just a copy of part one with a few tweaks? And I would say yes. Simple as that. I definitely agree with that statement because I played part one and I liked it. And if you guys
Yeah.
see me on Twitter, I actually was at E3, also PAX East to 2016 or 15, one of those times, and with the developers. hanging with and playing it first before anybody else even got a chance. So I was getting exclusive access and like pretty cool. And I thought the game was fun. And the new game is fun too. If you're into what it was before, you're not going to be disappointed with having the same game as far as that goes. But now, if you are someone who wanted something different, a little more special, you can look forward to what Cloudy was talking about, whether it's 5 players, but it's not the 5 players that matters. What happened is they took it out, so now it's going to be one tank. And what changes is you double stack tanks, and basically you'll be shooting through barriers all game long, and it turned it into a boring shooter when it's supposed to be exciting. And now they actually took the chance and the time to realize that this is bad for the community. We want exciting gameplay. So now you're going to be able to see a little more action. It's not enough, not a defense the whole time. And it's going to be a lot more plays that you could make for your team, whether it's a game changing push to take over an objective or, just a clutching up and taking out multiple guys because they don't have 2 tanks to control everything. So that is a good thing, and that was nice. We didn't get much in the beta. There is next year a story mode. Well, not a story mode specifically, but a PVE mode. They haven't announced every detail on that, so we can't really get into it. But you're gonna get some extra stuff that you didn't get from the first one. Problem is, you paid for the first one, and all you got was a multiplayer with ranked, and then now you're getting a free to play one with more content supposedly, but it's still the exact same game with a little extra tweaks to it. um, my worry, and this is separate to the topic, is will the game last in this current market? Will it be able to continue? There's a big community who plays ranked. There's a big community who also tries to play competitively. Those are scenes that are probably going to be around no matter what, but they're very small compared to the bigger picture when it comes to the public. Okay. Most games have
Yep.
a 1 to 2% professional players base, and then the 98% of like random casuals who jump on. So I'm still going to be excited to at least try it when it releases. I'm still going to be excited to try every new content when it comes out, just to give it a shot because I like to see what games have if I want to entertain myself with it. But sadly, the statement is true. Overwatch 2 is just a copy of part 1 with some tweaks. That's
Yeah.
my statement.
Yeah, and like I said, the gameplay is very different. So that's like I said, this game has its own community. It has its own. It built its own basic community, like of players, because of how different it is. Right? It's built around. There's really no like aim to shoot. Really, it's kind of like every character. It's a lot of times you get games that would do like, oh, you get a character, but then you have all these special guns that would do different stuff. Here you have special characters that do special stuff. So it's like, every character got their own play style, and it's not like you can go pick up a gun or you have to worry about ammo or anything like that. But all you got to do is worry about like what character and if it fits your play style and if that's the way you want to play. And it's fun in that sense, right? Because the game is really fun. I had a really good time with it. But my
Of course you
thing,
did. I
like,
spent the whole time healing you.
but then
Guys
like
gotta
but
watch the
like
footage.
but like
Watch my
but
footage.
but like Mag said, is like, what are they going to do to stay competitive in this market, right? Because you got games like Apex who have a really strong you know grasp on battle royale right now. Fortnite's another one. You got Call of Duty that's doing a really good job of hosting and like holding down their own community, with Warzone being the battle royale and the tournaments that they hold and stuff like that. So you have very great, like a really good competitive scene with surrounding those games when it comes to esports, right? And Overwatch had his own little section of like esports, but what game mode are they going to release? Whether it's a battle royale for Overwatch, maybe a little smaller, maybe something a little bit more fun.
Keep saying that, bro.
Um,
You really
um,
maybe, but damn,
or
I don't know if it's coming
or
right now.
which would make it very different because each character will have different ways to move around the map as it's closing or whatever. Maybe they can do something fun with that and different. that's not being done right now with games like Apex and the Fortnites of the world, right? But maybe they have a nice way to kind of do something different because the fact that they have a cast of characters that are so drastically different, right? So maybe there's a way for them to implement some type of battle royale that has some type of objective base to the game, right? So maybe something like that will be really fun. But they have to play around with it, and they have to try something new. And I haven't seen that yet. And the thing is we haven't even heard anything other than we haven't heard anything other than like, oh, here's the game, here's the beta, we're gonna releasing some new stuff. But what's your time frame? What's your rollout look like? What are you gonna give us as a community? What are you giving us that's new? Because as of now, what they've shown, even though it's great and all, you're kind of it feels like it's like, here, we're gonna give it to you free, and we're gonna put a stamp. We're gonna stamp 2 at the end, and there you go, repackage it, and have it for free, guys. It shouldn't have this much marketing built into it. It should, if that's the case, and it shouldn't be stamped with the number 2 and act like it's a new thing when in reality it's not, right? So, let's go ahead and see. But I would say let's give them a chance, right? Let's give the developers a chance because this game does have a lot of promise. Let's give it a chance. Let's see what they do with it. And let's see what they say, right? What they announce for updates and how they're going to treat this free to play. It's going to be a cash grab, and they're gonna make it like Apex, where you get these battle pass. You gotta buy your battle passes, and these nice creative, nice costumes that you can get for your unique characters. All of a sudden, they're gonna hide them behind certain forms of currency. Or is that what they're gonna do? And that's the reason why they're going free to play, or because they have such a unique cast?
Yeah, that's like they did announce the battle pass.
So
They used to have the loot boxes.
no,
Now they have
yeah.
the battle pass.
No, but the battle pass is not bad. But I'm saying, so because a lot of companies, what they've been doing is they'll do a battle pass, and what they'll do is that they'll have like, Apex does a really good job, and it's not, and Call of Duty does it too. They have these nice little packs that you can buy where you get these nice crazy costumes and this nice good looking gear. And if you're a fan of the series and that's your character that you play, you're gonna say, oh my god, I really want to have that. So then you go and you spend some, because you don't have enough coins that you made over the time of playing. You say, you know what, I need to have that. So you go and you purchase it before it expires and gets taken away. So, you end up being forced to want to buy that sooner. And it brings in that form of currency. And is that the reason why they're going free to play? Is that the reason why they're making it that way? Because if that is, that's a lousy way to that's a lousy excuse to have to want to do that, right? They have to have a bigger reason as to why they're going free to play and why they're stamping a 2 at the end of the name.
But it has to. It's not that that's a bad thing.
It's not that it's a bad thing, but you give it.
It's good and it's worth it.
Yeah,
that's what matters for me.
Yeah, but they have to give something that feels fresh and new. What are they doing fresh and new? Yeah, what are they gonna do that's fresh and new to allow for them to put a stamp of 2 at the end of it? You can't, you don't stamp a 2 at the end of something if it's just an update to what was current, right? So it's like, you don't go from firmware 1.0.2 to all of a sudden it's like the same it's like the same software, but you're gonna name it 2. No, you gotta, if it's something new.
You know about that. What are you talking about? This guy sells phones. He used to sell phones for a living. You know about, every 6 months, let's put out this new phone. Send you a little bit of a camera.
Yeah, they do that with cars. They do that with cars too, but that's different. That we're not that.
Hey, this got an alarm on it. The car. Look at this. Oh, look at this phone. I got an upgraded pixel. 1 extra pixel.
Yeah. No, but like I said, it's like I said, they have to do better with that, man. That's just my take on it. They got to do better, and that's how I feel. They have to figure this out, because, if you're gonna stamp a 2, my problem is, don't stamp a 2 at the end of it. Don't put this big marketing campaign out like if you're releasing something that's new, and it's not, right. That's like Rainbow Six talking about they're gonna be coming out with a new Rainbow Six Siege 2, but instead all they do is give you the same cast of characters and call it Rainbow Six Siege 2. and all they do is just like, say, okay, we're gonna add this. Like, no, you gotta tell us what your plan is. Let us know why you're naming it too, and what to expect. And I think that's fair, right? And I don't think that's asking too much, but it, especially if especially if you're asking for people to support it, even though it's free to play, you want people to support it, and you're naming it Overwatch 2, then give us a reason to, right?